Your new name could be apparently, and you're apparently right. Even Michael Fisher cannot pronounce your name right. I know, I'm gonna start calling him Miguel Pescador. Your new name is Batman, and I'm not the one wearing hockey pants. That's right, it's that time of the week. I am Jaime Rivera, this is Pocket Now, and this is the Pocketnow Daily Recap for last week. So on Monday, I asked you if the LG G Flex 2 is your next smartphone. We were looking at the price tags and they are extremely competitive. We have 524 comments, out of which Kushik says, "No, Jaime. Actually, I'm not a fan of the G Flex at all. Specs are pumped, but I still don't like the curvy looks. I'll wait for the HTC Hima, aka M9. I am expecting more from the M9 this year. Hope for the best. I guess you two are waiting for it. Have a great day, Jaime, and have a great day too. I am actually waiting for the HTC M9, but then again, the G Flex 2 is probably one of the best looking smartphones I've ever seen, regardless of the specs, so I am definitely considering it." Then Ryan says, "I don't think the LG G Flex is too hot. Battery life is the biggest concern, and 3000 milliamp hours is too little for power users like me." Ooh, 3000 milliamp hours is actually a very big battery for a 5.5-inch display, and in that same vein, LG is probably one of the best companies dealing with battery life lately, so I think it's worth giving it a try. Then Melissa Stevens says, "I love my G3 and I'm thinking this would be a nice logical step up. Can't wait and love the red, although I'm not sure T-Mobile won't supply it." I don't like the G3 that much. Glad you do. I don't know. I'm not a really big fan of that display, particularly not just the over sharpening of the display, but the sensitivity of the display just seems off. And I didn't feel these problems with the G Flex 2, so I am feeling that this is not just a logical step up, but definitely a better phone than the G3. So yeah, I agree with you. But yeah, T-Mobile and colors, they don't really match that well. Then on Tuesday, I asked you if you think that, given Apple's track record, would it be logical for the company to bring a major design change to the iPhone 6s coming later this year, given the recent rumors that Apple is experimenting with dual cameras? We have 436 comments, out of which Ali says, "iPhone 6s, the S stands for the same S." And I agree with you, it's been the same case every single time. Then another commenter says, "The 6S will be nothing but a minor spec upgrades. If Apple was to do drastic changes to the iPhone, then people would feel they were getting cheated. With just a few months of owning an iPhone 6 and 6 Plus respectively, you make a major point. Yes, a lot of people don't like that Apple does that 6S thing or 5S thing, but it's worked so well for Apple that they're selling iPhones like hotcakes. People don't seem to like for redesign cycles to go beyond that second year, mainly because they're stuck on a 2-year contract. It makes sense." Then Luis Eduardo says, "Apple is so innovative. Can't wait to have my mind blown. Last year I sold my house to get a 6 Plus. This time my kidneys should be enough, I guess. No, I think you're gonna need your lungs as well." Then on Wednesday, I asked you if you would like for Sony to sell off the Xperia division, as the rumors are that the company is considering selling it off in order to bring itself some revival economically. We have 879 comments, out of which Joshua Kelly says, "What if Google bought the Xperia brand? A Nexus Xperia Compact would be amazing." It would, as long as Google would do a much better job at selling it. Sadly, Google does a terrible job with the Nexus lineup in meeting demand, and it's not like if they sell a great amount of phones. So yeah, it would be a good idea, but then again, even though they did bring a lot of innovation to Motorola, they didn't sell well. So I don't think Google would probably be the best company, my opinion though. And Joel George says, "I agree. Selling the Xperia brand I think would be very disappointing. That's a great device that's a few tweaks from being the top Android device. For starters, the display. Sony needs to make that display just wicked sick. Then just make it the next Google Nexus for more publicity. Xperia smartphones ever since the Xperia Z1, not the Z. The Z1 had great displays. It's been that way every year ever since. Then again, the whole Nexus idea is a good idea, but then again, we didn't have any success with the whole Google Play edition of that Xperia humongous phablet. I even forget the name because it was just so bad, but then again, I think it was the product and the whole Google concept of the Google Play Edition. So yeah, it could be a good idea, and I think that a waterproof Nexus would just be amazing. And Jennifer P says, when I bought the Sony Ericsson Xperia Arc S 4 years ago, they decided to leave Ericsson. Now I bought the Xperia Z3 Compact and Sony wants to sell the Xperia line. The hell. I hope it won't affect updates and support like it has been in the past. I think it's a pretty bad idea. They're constantly getting better, but now they suddenly want to stop. I do agree with your point. Sony sold off or bought off Ericsson, and the company made a dramatic revamp to becoming the smartphone company that we wanted. Great designs, great software experiences, and great software updates. That was definitely not the Sony Ericsson of the past. So yeah, selling it off would leave a lot of customers that are starting to have faith in Sony, you know, in dire straits. It would be great for Sony to just hold off like HTC is doing, but then again, HTC only sells phones and Sony sells everything else, so it's really hard for a company this broad to just say, oh, we're gonna bleed money here and not do anything about it. It's just the way these corporations work. Then on Thursday I asked you, would you like for Samsung to acquire BlackBerry, or what do you think, as the reports were back then that Samsung was considering it, even though eventually we learned that the company won't. We have 435 comments, out of which Eric Lang says, Blackberries are great. They are stuck in the past and have lack of partners and funding. Someone just needs to save them, like Samsung or insert OEM. The question is, save what? First of all, I was a big fan of BlackBerry years ago in the time of the Pearl. I loved their designs and their UI, even though it looked a little dated. It was extremely fluid, very practical. The problem is, they have not evolved, and the company needs to. You think that people are diehard keyboard fans now, but the problem is software keyboards have become much better than hardware ones, and that's really the problem. They need to evolve, and they need to implement something better, not necessarily stuck in the past. My opinion, though. Then Michael Jimenez says, before the iPhone, BlackBerry was the best of smartphones. After Android came in, iPhone was still ahead, but now most people prefer Android. What would save BlackBerry? Making an Android phone will save them. Selling to Samsung won't. Good idea. BlackBerry design running Android. But could be a good idea, who knows? Then Neri says, there is no way that BBOS or TouchWiz work fine. They both suck, so I don't care. Fanboys, don't reply. Yes, TouchWiz, BBOS, that would be a bad combination indeed. And then Friday I asked you, how important are fingerprint scanners to you, as the rumors are that Samsung is experimenting with a better fingerprint scanner than the one we have on the Galaxy S5, but looks a lot like what we have with Touch ID on Apple's iOS devices. We have 406 comments, out of which Hassan Ali says, not really. I just want a fast and easy way to unlock my phone so things like the knock code would work too. I'm not going to agree. I have the LG G3. The knock code requires 4 different taps, and in the case of the iPhone, you press a button and it unlocks your phone. That's it. And Chris Armida says, no, don't need fingerprint scanner on my phone. I usually don't keep any sort of lock on my phone. I've got nothing to hide, and if it were to be stolen, I can wipe it and track it down. If the burglar removes the SIM card, then no, you won't be able to wipe it and track it down. I don't know, for me it's not just about security. You make a really good point. True, some people don't really care about that, but for me it's just the fact that slide to unlock, it requires you to press the power button, then slide to unlock. When fingerprint scanners, you just press a button and it unlocks the phone. It's just so simple that it makes even slide to unlock look obsolete. And really, it makes sense if you think about it. It just saves you time. Then Abdullah says, the Galaxy S5 plus no 4 fingerprint scanner is the worst. Honestly, I would just stick to a regular PIN or password because that is more convenient. It would be interesting to see how they fix these issues on the Galaxy S6. You make a good point. True, fingerprint scanners are cool as long as they work. Samsung has not figured it out. Apple has. So hopefully, yes, OEMs will, because again, it is more convenient, it brings you added security, and if done right, it is quicker than sliding to unlock. But I don't know, leave us a comment down below. What do you think? That is it for our Pocketnow Daily Recap. Thank you very much for watching. A couple of tips if you want your comments to be featured. Number 1, keep them short. Number 2, stick to the point. Number 3, try to get some thumbs up. It helps us spot them a lot easier. You can also follow us on social media. Subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. You can follow me on Twitter, Jaime_Rivera. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like what you saw. I am Jaime Rivera. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next week.